Trophy. Well, trophy. There's a trophy over there. We can drink from it later. Ready? So, guys, thanks for coming tonight. Look, I maybe didn't get the message about the theme or whatever the dress code was. I don't know what it is, but everyone else did. Everyone looks great. So, give yourself a round of applause. I think this is our 4th annual presentation night. It's evolved over time, but hopefully this one's going to be the best ever. Let's make this one the best ever, guys. Come on, let's go, eh? First of all tonight, Dave, our Presidente, is, after he stops dabbling with the computer, he's going to start speaking to you about the year. Hey Fletch, come on. Pay attention. Sorry? I think we're having technical difficulties. What was that again? So here's Dave, you ready? Yeah, round of applause for our president. Grego, birthday tomorrow, Brian.
Yeah, only 21 tomorrow. Look, I'm going to be pretty brief. I'm just going to quickly reflect on a few things on the year and then get us off and running for our presentation night. We've got quite a few things to get through. First of all, I want to thank a few people. First, foremost are our members, our players, and our social members. You guys make us as a club, and you know you are what we are as a club. So thank you very much for everything you do and your participation. I'd like to thank the supporters of our club, the kids particularly. We'll talk a bit more about them later, but it's a big part of our club, a growing part of our club, and we really want to make sure we're seen as a family club, and I hope that's how you feel and hope other people see that as well. I'd like to thank our sponsors. First and foremost, Platypus Brewing, obviously for hosting us tonight. Thank you, Sean, Morgan and Rasha for having us and obviously being a great supporter of ours since you opened your doors. I'd also like to thank our other sponsors, Phoenix on Westheimer and Vu and the team down there. FC Lending and Ruggles for his support and their support. Obviously one very, very important thank you is for Arosti. They've been a great supporter of ours this year. Amazing. And hopefully for time to come. Also 21st Century Top Royalty, which is Diesel's group, Diesel's team. Carback Brewing, obviously a big supporter and we drink their beer all the time. Angela Moore Realty, she's been a supporter as well and she's going to hopefully support us in the future. And last but not least, 4 and 20 Pies, who have filled up our bellies pretty nicely this year. So just a quick look back through the year, 2017, what it's been. We started with Fitness Through Footy and it was a great campaign because Webb and Jules came out to Fitness Through Footy way back in January, early February and have been a great part of the club since. We've also seen people like Alex Azizi and others come down and really embrace the club. So Fitness Through Footy was great. We also embraced a new coach, Steve Ryan. Steve Ryan's not here tonight, but we may hear some messages from him later. And the coaching team that was assembled around Steve, Sarge, Rico, Chizzy, Matt and Dan. A lot of us involved in directing this team, but you know, given Steve's movements, obviously he wasn't here a lot, so we needed support from many people. Looking at the season, we had spring season starting off, and then we finished that up with Regionals Little Rock, and we'll talk more about the games and the performances there in the vote camp. But we had a big bus trip, which was a first for the club. We had a 50-seater, and we all jumped on board and had a hell of a time. So we probably will try that again.
Not through dry counties though.
No dry counties in the future. So Little Rock's out. We have to go west or east.
That was a hell of a speech.
So that got us through to regionals, and we had a really good hit out there. Took a great number of players. And then we had the summer break. Now, things really took a change after summer. It was a pretty regular season up to that point. But first of all, we had an amazing breakthrough by developing our women's team, and many of them here tonight. That was in June. June and July, we went out with a couple of talent searches and really got a great response. And what I've been really impressed by is how the girls have stayed together and really bonded as a team. And you know, we'll talk more about Milo's influence on that later, but he's obviously been a really important part of helping teach the game and gel that team together. And I really appreciate the girls for committing and being part of the club. Following that, we had a couple of representatives, IC17. One of them's here tonight, Bobby Sears. Bobby went down to Melbourne and joined Dave Restrepo, who's back down there now, to play for their country and play with some passion that you probably haven't seen the US team play with, some skill and speed. Probably their best performance by a long stretch, Bobby, I would say. And I hope that that's just the start of, you know, Americans getting on top of footy worldwide, and I think that can happen. Hurricane Harvey, well, what can I say? You know, we went from, you know, a nice mild summer to then, you know, the worst event we've seen probably, certainly in my time here, it's been 7.5 years or so. And it really devastated this town, obviously, and we've seen that for time since. But we had a really great, amazing club response to that. I was really, really proud of how the girls and the guys banded to help each other and their friends and their neighbours and anyone else. I think we had $10,000+ raised through some really good fundraising efforts by Dave Restrepo. David Nastas, sorry, and Flick Harrison. They headed up a really big campaign, and Crystal, obviously, between all of that. Amazing effort, and that was just to help others, as well as we did, I think, counted over 20 houses that the team, throughout its numbers, helped, you know, demolish and salvage somewhat. So amazing effort, and guys, you should hold your heads high and be really proud of what we did in response to that effort as a club. That takes us through to the fall, and we had some really tough games in the fall. We had a game cancelled in the fall because of the hurricane. So we were a bit underdone, I think, coming through that campaign. We went to nationals with what I think is an amazing effort. 57 total players travelled to nationals, which is by far the most we've ever taken, by at least a dozen. We had over 75 travellers go, so that's extended partners and kids. Amazing numbers. So that's the most ever we've done, and I think we handled it really well. It was one of the smoother nationals I probably can recall myself, and we had a really fun weekend. And we'll talk more about the footy side of that later, but really proud of the participation and the help that was given to both Sonny and I and the board and the coaches from all of the team. One thing I want to single out about, and it really hit me at nationals, was the influence that our kids at the club have had this year. It's a really important part of who we are, and they have shown so much enthusiasm. We talk about, and I'll talk about the families now, the Muellers, the Jobs, the Craigs, the Wagners, the Azizis, and, sorry?
Craig Sierras.
Sorry, / Sierras. Between them all, there's about 15 or so kids in the club, and I'm really proud of the way they come down and have fun, and we have clinics, and they just get involved. And in fact, some of them play in the all-comers game that we have at the end of the game of the Texas Cup Series with a few times. So look, that just makes me really proud as someone who can stand up here and say, look, we're not just a bunch of guys or girls playing footy. We're a community and we're a family. So, and that really involves the kids, and I really want to make that a focus going forward. So that brings us tonight. Tonight's a presentation night. It's a pretty important night because it allows us to reflect on the year, the individual and team performances. But tonight's a bit of a different one because we've, for the first time in conjunction with the USAFL's 20-year anniversary, it's 20 years this year, we've posted a team of the decade. And so 2007 to 2017, we've got myself, Dan, and a few other old heads, we'll call us, have got together and thrashed out a team of the decade. And so we'll go through and present that tonight as well, along with all of the award winners and obviously players that have contributed and performed well, as well as delivered and supported the club on and off the field. So it's a really important night, and I hope you enjoy it. And I certainly think that the group that I have in front of me, and there's a few folks that couldn't be here, really do have banded together to really make this club what it is, and tonight hopefully make it what it is. The last thing I'd want to do is just first of all thank one guy that's made an effort to come over here. He's going to be part of the team of the decade. He flew in from San Francisco, Kevin Waden. A few of you may not recognise Kevin. We'll talk more about Kevin later, but I just want to thank you, Kev, for coming over. He's flown in and flies out tomorrow. He came only for this. But he's been at the club since 2009, and we'll talk more about him later. But thanks, Kev. Last thing I want to mention is that I recently accepted a role as the Vice President of the USAFL. So I'll be representing the Central region, which is the region that Texas footy is in, trying to make a difference for the league and help improve the league and make it better and better. I'm passionate about footy and passionate about making footy a community activity that everybody gets a chance to play. So that's what I'm going to do. What that means for my current position at this club, I don't know. I'll definitely be in some capacity. I probably won't be the president, but we'll wait for the AGM next year and sort all that out. But I just wanted to let you all know. So with that, I'll hand over. We'll start with the awards. Sarge is going to come up and get us going. Sarge is going to be speaking a lot more from now on, and you won't hear much from me at all. Sarge, good luck.
All right, thanks, DB. And a big cheer for DB. Alright guys, so obviously the big theme of tonight is working eventually towards the Lone Low, which is our fairest and best award for the evening. And that's obviously been administered through votes throughout the year at every game. For those that aren't aware, we had 3 individuals voting per game on a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 basis. So whether that be the umpire, the coach, sometimes we ask the opposition coach, runners, or whoever we deemed was a suitable fit to take the voting process in. So we've tallied up the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's what we'll be heading for towards the end of the night. So I'll start off with the spring season, and obviously I'm the fill-in coach this year. Steve Ryan, obviously we would all like to have Steve here, and it would be great if he was still here right now. Because I wouldn't be standing on the front stand. But Steve left halfway through the year, unfortunately, and I took the roles on. And I hope that everyone enjoyed the year. That's key for most of us who do here. So for the beginning of the year, we started with the spring season, and we firstly got to call out Maddie Stevens for dragging us through the trials and tribulations of running us. Try and get us to a fit level of football. So thanks, Maddie. Look forward to you caning us next year after all the food and drinks for the festive season, mate. For the rest of the spring season cups, we had the Ruggles Cup, the Anzac Day event, which was with Baton Rouge and Tulsa here in Houston at the U of H. For those that were at that game, we had some very dominant players start to show themselves really early. Webby's one that was obviously a quick mention. He took the medal that game. Well done, Webby. He was followed quickly with some other boys that played some good votes, and that was Jobby and Holland that also followed him quickly around the park and made him work hard out there to take that final medal. We followed that quickly with the May 6th Portland game. That was with Austin and Portland. Portland that we met in the Nationals, and weirdly enough, we fought them earlier in the year, and we gave them a beating back at home, which was really, really good. And it was a good fought game. It was we played actually really good football for that game. I was impressed. Guys that stood out really well there were guys here tonight. Shawnee Smith played and Tommy. He's not here tonight. Tom played a brilliant game, full forward, kicked many. and Holland again was featuring well in that week. Then we moved on to the Texas Cup, the first round of the Texas Cup. Our rivals, Dallas and Austin. Okay, and that was the first champion had a good hit out against those guys up in Dallas, I think, wasn't it? Yes, up in Dallas. And those were probably the best 2 games that I've seen this football team play.
Yeah.
Okay, we played outside of our level. We really did. We held that team. We could have beaten Austin in that first game, and that was that was the first opportunity I think that most of the people in this room saw that we had a real chance in this football league. We knew what we could do against Austin, and then we backed it up against Dallas, and we saw the same thing again. So we held Austin to, I think, within a goal on that game.
3 points, I think. Yeah.
And it was just superb football. But some of the best football I've seen this team play. We fought really hard. It was unfortunate we walked away with 2 losses that weekend, but it was no shine off our skin. It was probably the best football I've ever seen this play. Guys that really stood out that week, a guy who's not here tonight, Stevie Ryan. He played sensational that day. Okay, Webby again fought his heart out again that game. And you'll see the other votes coming up soon on those 2. We then moved on to the last part of the spring season, which was the regional games, which I didn't go to. So I'm going to ask DB to come up here and quick word about what happened that weekend.
Tell us about the bus trip.
Yeah, now, Phil, you can talk about the bus trip later, because you have been or are the member at large, is that right?
No, Chizzy.
Right. Anyway, regionals. So regionals obviously is the crescendo of the spring season, and we go up there and play 3 games. We went Little Rock, obviously. I mentioned the bus trip before. I think we managed to get 90% of the way without anyone having a beer, but I think in the last hour or so it was getting a bit tiresome, and we cracked out some jungle juice. I think it was in the red bottle, Dan, remember that? And a few beers, but I think it was pretty quiet on the whole, and it helped us at least get up in the morning for the game. But we played Nashville first in the first game, and Nashville probably aren't our measure, in all honesty, but we kind of made them look alright for a while, and it wasn't our best first half of the year, and the second half we kind of tied it up a little bit and got away with a pretty safe win, I'd say, but it wasn't the best game of footy, and it really woke us up and made us realise that we've got to do better. But in that game, Jesse played a really strong game, JD played some really strong footy forward in the rain. I think he kicked 2 goals that game, JD, was it? Yeah. And,
2 easy goals, JD. Easy ones.
no goal, hey Phil, that's what we've seen this year, no goals easy. And then so after that game, we kind of felt we needed to do more, but we came up against Austin, and what was a really strong Austin team, and that game was pretty hard from the very beginning. They trounced us, they kicked the first 5 goals, helped by a few mistakes on our end and a few positional errors. And I think what happened is we basically dropped our heads as a team, and we went into half-time 6 goals down. We basically held them in the second half. I think they scored 1 more goal than us in the second half and ended up winning by 7. So, look, great second half. 1 quarter of footy cost us, and it cost us in a big way by a fairly big margin. And so we were very disappointed. Stevie took us aside after the game, and we just sort of licked our wounds a little bit and thought, well, we've got to come out in the third game and let's just have some fun. And that's exactly what we did. We came out against Tulsa, which we'd expect to beat, and beat them comfortably and actually enjoyed the game. You know, that's what you've got to do out there. And sometimes when you enjoy it more, you play better, you play more naturally. So we had some we had some good players in the Austin game through Matty Steams and Hollab in a fairly defensive game, followed then by a great performance by David Astis in that last game against Tulsa. And also a little cameo from Dan Holwerda. He had a pretty nice game in that last game. So Danny Boy did really well. But we came away with 2 wins and a loss, a pretty heavy loss, but I'd say, you know, pretty successful regionals, given that in effectively what was a Division 1 regionals versus last year we won Division 2 at the regional. So, look, 2 out of 3 was good. 1 bad quarter basically cost us what would have been a great weekend. So, back to you, sir.
All right.
Get the leaderboard up.
Right, so that was the end of our spring season, guys, and so what we'll throw up right now is the leaderboard from the vote tally system that will show us the first 4 tournaments, which we can see from the top 10 sitting at Matty Hollop, sat at 43 votes. Chasing him and quite aggressively was Nathan Webb at 35, and Jesse Jesse and Steve Ryan were sharing the third place spot at that point. But as you can see, the names at the top were all names that we spoke quite highly of in those last couple of those last four tournaments, and guys that did play good football. And Diesel, Zach Davis, dropping the bottom of the line there. Zach Davis on 22 votes, also played some great football over that period. Well done, Dees. So that moves us out of the vote counting portion of the award ceremony, and we move into some of the other awards, which are, these awards are coaches and some of the board representatives awards. So the first award we've got is the best first year player. So the best first year player. Steve, when you're on fire up here, you're on fire or what?
He's very good. Hey, who's smoking?
I told you no smoking.